fresh start, it's never too late to dig in and start a new journey of success. Good morning, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis. Welcome to the Morning Edition, Dorian, the Aftermath. A lot of activity in the tropics, and to give us an update weather-wise is weatherman Basil Dean.
This weather report is sponsored by Bank of the Bahamas, the bank of solutions.
Good morning, LaDawn. After a weekend of heavy rains and gray skies, our ZNS Tower Cam is showing the skies are clearing up just a bit and the rains have let up for a bit. And as we go to our satellite picture, we'll see what's happening in the tropics. We have a tropical storm Jerry, which is out there heading towards the north-northwest at about 9 miles per hour. Maximum sustained winds about 60 miles per hour. And that will be moving somewhat just to the north and west of Bermuda by the middle of this week. And then we have Karen down here in the eastern Caribbean. That's also moving towards the northwest at around 8 miles per hour, maximum sustained winds at 40 miles per hour. And over in the far eastern Atlantic, we have tropical depression number 13, which just formed this morning. That is making its way towards the west. We'll tell you all about those later in the newscast, so do stay tuned. But outside of our studios, we have partly cloudy skies, your temperature 79 degrees, relative humidity 88%, easterly winds at 12 miles per hour, the barometric pressure 1,012.6 millibars, that's 29.91 inches, and it is steady. Temperatures around the islands this morning: 78 in Marsh Harbor, 76 in Green Toll Key, Freeport, Grand Bahama at 76, the Berry Islands 80 degrees, 80 in Alistown, Bimini, 81 in Harbour Island, Roxanne, Eleuthera 80, 80 in Otterstown, Cat Island, Staniel Key at 80, also Kemps Bay, St. Andrews reporting 80 degrees, Fresh Creek at 81. And in San Salvador, 80, 80 also in Rim Key, in Ragged Island, 81, Clarence Town, Long Island, Crooked Island, 81, Betsy Bay, Megwana, 80 degrees, 80 in Acklands, Matthew Tananagua, 82 degrees, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 82 degrees. Your boating forecast for today: in the northwestern islands, winds northeast 15 to 20 knots, so caution flags remain in place as those wave heights will be 4 to 7 feet over the ocean. Low tide 8:04 this morning, high tide at 2:36 this afternoon. For the central Bahamas, northeast winds as well, 10 to 15 knots, wave heights down 2 to 4 feet. And for the southeast Bahamas, the winds will be out of the southwest at 10 to 15 knots and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. That's going to do it for your first look at weather, the morning edition. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today, tonight is still ahead.
Thanks a lot, Basil. Let's see what's happening out there on our streets. Lloyd Allen and the Morning Edition traffic team is standing by with the Bahamas First traffic report.
The traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance. Today, tomorrow.
Well, good morning, LaDawn, and good morning, Bahamas. We're here in the western area of New Providence. It's a wet morning this morning. As you can see from the camera, there was a buildup of sand from sea surge over the weekend, as high in some areas as about 3 inches. And even from that, crews would have passed over on Saturday as well as Sunday to clear this area. But even as that clearing continues in areas here like Travelers Rest, that buildup continues to affect drivers. And so, of course, we're cautioning drivers as they're moving through areas like this to drive with due care and attention. This morning we have Sergeant Jerron Thompson, who is giving us initially a look at weekend traffic. Good morning, officer. How are you?
Good morning to you. Good morning, Bahamas.
So how was traffic over the weekend?
We had about 8 accidents in total, a few accidents with injuries. We currently have officers on the scene of a code 44, which is an accident with an injury at the intersection of Soldier Road and East Street as we speak, investigating same.
Wow, so definitely that sounds a little serious. But of course, in this area, as drivers are making their way, even for us as our news team was making our way out here, there were several areas of sand buildup in the roads. And so, of course, you have some advice for drivers as they're moving in areas like this.
Yes, we'd like to strongly advise drivers that are traversing this area to proceed with the maximum speed of about 15 miles per hour. As you can see, the area is saturated heavily with sand and also debris from the sea, seaweed, and what have you. Once you traverse this area and you use that speed, you should be in control if you have to stop in case of emergency, because if you were to slam brakes or apply brakes quickly and try to steer, that could cause a disaster.
Yeah, well, of course, I know I'm one of those drivers who tends to pick up the speed sometimes, and I'm following your advice. That should keep me safe. But of course, we're going to continue to watch and observe these conditions here in Western New Providence. Reporting from Travelers Rest with Officer Thompson. Lloyd Allen, LaDawn, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Lloyd. Now onto our top story this morning. The Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama and former Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Works, Iram Lewis, will be sworn in at 3 o'clock this afternoon as the new Minister of State for Disaster Preparedness, Management and Reconstruction during a ceremony at Government House. Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, made the official announcement yesterday, noting the urgency to rebuild the hurricane-hit islands of Grand Bahama and Abaco. Altavis Munnings takes a closer look at the new ministry's responsibilities.
The primary objectives of the new Ministry of Disaster Preparedness, Management and Reconstruction entail relations with the National Emergency Management Agency and Family Island Consultative Committees and Administrators, disaster preparedness, disaster response, and disaster relief and recovery. 3 weeks after Hurricane Dorian significantly impacted the country's two most northern islands, Prime Minister the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis announced Sunday that the new Disaster Preparedness Government Ministry will be modeled after the Public Hospitals Authority that comprises an executive director and board.
It is critical that we remove the bureaucratic obstructions which may hinder recovery and reconstruction efforts on the ground. And where appropriate, we will ensure applicable regulatory reform and changes, as well as the removal of unnecessary regulatory roadblocks and red tape.
The Prime Minister also listed some of the new ministry's tasks in disaster reconstruction.
The ministry will prepare comprehensive assessments and proposals to central government of the funding needs for reconstruction and rebuilding by providing documentation of those needs. It will secure the services of planners and architects who will work with local residents to create plans for rebuilding connected to the availability of funds. Become a long-range planning task force. The new ministry will also be responsible for preparation of information to local residents on financial matters and the changing state of local services, securing from Cabinet approval of all medium and long-term plans.
Prime Minister Minnis maintains that this new ministry is ultimately designed to help focus and coordinate the national response for the recovery and reconstruction of Grand Bahama and Abaco. Altavis Munnings, ZNS Network News.
Now, like we said earlier, Iram Lewis will be sworn in as the new Minister of State for the Ministry of Disaster Preparedness, Management and Reconstruction at 3 o'clock this afternoon at Government House. The former Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Works has been on the ground in Grand Bahama since the storm passed, as he too is a storm survivor. Lewis is appealing to all Abaco and Grand Bahama residents and stakeholders to work together during the hurricane restoration process. The new cabinet minister outlined his initial plans for recovery on the island of Abaco.
We will pay close attention to possible hazmat and biohazard components and work hand in hand with the Environmental Health Department as well as other agencies to ensure that the island is safe. Considering the delicate nature of this undertaking, we must make the citizens that currently remain in certain parts of Abaco aware that relocating them for a short period of time will likely be necessary. The rebuilding of homes and businesses will be the focus of our second phase in Abaco. Working with the business community in Abaco and restarting the island's economy is vital to returning Abaco to normalcy. As is clear, the building codes will be addressed and moving forward will be strictly adhered to in order to give the residents of Abaco the best opportunity in the event of another major storm, or in this case, a superstorm.
The Grand Bahama native and architect by profession also acknowledged the relief efforts that need to be conducted on both ends of Grand Bahama.
It is my intention to address the west end of Grand Bahama also. This area has experienced flooding on too many occasions, and the residents are subject to the slow rebuilding and revitalization process that follows. As with East Grand Bahama and West Grand Bahama, these two settlements have the unique ability of being powerhouse economies in our domestic and tourism product. I intend to use this opportunity to engage the West End community along with our engineers and planners to see how best we can work with the residents and stakeholders in West Grand Bahama to bring about the best solution for all involved.
Progressive Liberal Party leader Philip Brave Davis said in a statement yesterday that he is concerned about what he describes as government's lack of leadership for a clear direction in the aftermath of the hurricane with the announcement of the new Ministry of Disaster Preparedness Management and Reconstruction. Davis claims the National Emergency Management Agency is the statutory authority on national emergencies, and the party does not agree that another layer of bureaucracy with another political head will solve the myriad of challenges facing the government in this national effort, now raising questions like, do NEMA officials report to the new ministry, and are security forces subject to this new ministry? The PLP leader describes government's decision to create a new ministry is unhelpful and another example of political waste. Our news team contacted Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, Sunday night for a comment, and he said he has no response to the opposition's statement. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Minnis also announced that major changes are in the pipeline at the National Emergency Management Agency with the creation of this new disaster preparedness ministry.
National Emergency Management Agency is going to be dramatically restructured, especially in light of the global climate emergency, which is making hurricanes more powerful and more deadly. In restructuring NEMA, we will work with disaster preparedness, recovery, and management experts from around the world, including Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, of the United States of America. I wish to thank all the officials at NEMA for their hard work and dedication before and in the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian. I also thank the other public officers for their hard work and dedication, especially public officers from affected areas, a number of whom have lost their homes, loved ones, and friends.
Meantime, a Bahamian delegation led by Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Honorable Darren Henfield, is in New York for the 74th United Nations General Assembly. Mr. Henfield will also provide an update on the country's response to Hurricane Dorian. That report will be presented during a session with the U.S. CARICOM Ministerial with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. The Minister of Foreign Affairs will also represent Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, at the Western Hemispheric Leaders meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump to discuss the democratic transition of Venezuela. Now, Prime Minister Minnis will travel to the UN later in the week to address that world body on September 27th. Now on the home front, Grand Bahama residents to receive any spiritual counseling they might need in the wake of Hurricane Dorian 3 weeks ago. Pastor Emeritus of New Covenant Baptist Church, Bishop Simeon Hall, says persons impacted in Grand Bahama and Abaco plan to partner with his colleagues in Grand Bahama to offer free counseling sessions for residents on that island. Bishop Hall confirmed that the sessions are set for this Monday and Tuesday at the Precious Acres Hall over in Grand Bahama.
We've put all kinds of food, we put shelter. I have a friend who's bringing 1,000 tents into the country, but people also need to know. One lady said, how can I now trust God when I've been through this? People are questioning their own faith, and I have some 55 years of experience, and so they've called me in, and sometimes people feel better talking to a stranger about what they're going through, and that's what we're offering. We're praying that people in Grand Bahama will come. We're going to try to set it up so that we spend half an hour with each person and just speak with them, pray with them, and give them guidance.
Bishop Hall believes residents in the impacted areas need as much help as possible.
I'm doing this because Grand Bahama and Abaco are still in turmoil, and it's been 2 weeks now, and Nasuvians, I'm calling on them not to forget. After 9 days, people move on to something else. Let's keep Grand Bahama and Abaco in our minds. What we are doing is we are offering spiritual guidance, pastoral counseling to persons. People need food, they need shelter, they need bread, they need clothing, but they also need hope. And the church is trained in that area.
Let's take a break here, and when we return, we'll hear from the Catholic Archbishop on the Haitian community, so keep it locked.
Look, it's simple. Fidelity can consolidate all your bills with their debt consolidation loan. Give you one monthly payment and money in your pocket.
So let me get this straight, Miss Financial Coach. You say something about cash in my pocket?
Yes.
And a savings plan with 5% interest? Wow! Finally! A bank that's looking out for me! What do you want me to sign?
That's not all. We also offer competitive interest rates and free financial coaching.
Miss Fidelity, you ain't hear me. Where do I sign?
The Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources invites all farmers and fishers affected by Hurricane Dorian on the islands of Abaco and Grand Bahama to contact the Department of Agriculture at 397-7450, extension 2200, or the Department of Marine Resources at 393-1777. Important information on the status of your farming or fishing operation is urgently required as we move toward rebuilding and restoration.
Hey, long time no see. You hear me?
Long time no see.
Boiled fish, stew conch. I love it all.
Tourists come here to take our tours, experience our sun, sand, and sea, and they also spend money around town.
I used to see a bunch of hogfish around here, but nowadays I hardly see any.
You protect one area, the fish do their thing, make a bunch of babies that spread all over the sea. What's the problem?
If we protect certain parts of our sea,
it keeps all parts working right.
I was against that phase, but knowing what I know now, I totally agree with having marine protected areas.
I support marine protected areas.
We support marine protected areas.
Look for Bahamas Protected on Facebook.
Sign the petition.
Sign the petition.
Archbishop of the Catholic Diocese, the Most Reverend Patrick Pinder, sending a strong message to Bahamians to show more empathy towards those Haitian nationals in the mud and the Pigeon Pea in the Abacos whose homes were washed away by hurried, dangerous Dorian. The Archbishop Pinder says while this issue must be addressed, the government should consider revising its building codes.
We also have to address this issue of the Haitian immigrants in our midst. Okay? And I think we need to do so with compassion, in a manner that is humane, that is respectful of human dignity, which we share with those people. We all share the same human dignity, and in a manner that's just, that is to say, respectful of our own laws. I think it's important for us to do that, and to do it very wisely and sensibly, because many of those people are the ones who will make up the bulk of the workforce to rebuild a place like Abaco. And we have to get it right, because the world is watching us. The world is marking the manner of our bearing.
The Bahamas Hurricane Relief Concert Unite Plus bill set to take place in Trinidad and Tobago this Sunday was postponed to later in the week due to inclement weather. Tropical storm Karen continues to dump heavy rains that has led to flooding in parts of Twin Island Republic. The concert was set for the O2 Park in Chaguaramas. Organizers say it's now been rescheduled to Tuesday, September 24th, Republic Day. Organizers said in a release that it knows all too well the impact impact of inclement weather, and it chose to be cautious and put safety first. Further, officials say once the storm passes, it will stay true to the cause and raise funds for the victims of Hurricane Dorian here in the Bahamas. Bahamian entertainers that include Avi, Wendy, Dyson, Julian Believe, and Visage will join their Caribbean counterparts such as Destra, Cast the Band, and a host of others. Stay close, we've got more right after this. You're watching Hurricane Dorian, The Aftermath.
This is a PSA from We Buy, You Sell. The protection of your businesses, homes, and families is very important. We Buy, You Sell offers the best in hurricane impact windows and doors designed to withstand all categories of hurricanes, with prices beating our competitors by up to 50%. We also specialize in porcelain, mosaic, and plank tiles. We Buy, You Sell, located at number 163 Robinson Road. Call 677-2856 or 324-6427. We Buy, You Sell. Come and see us today.
For the latest news and highlights in Bahamian culture, tune in to the new Junkanoo 242, Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. on the ZNS Radio and Television Network, Radio Bahamas 1540 a.m. on 104.5 FM and TV 13. Each week, host Arlene Nash Ferguson and Darren Bastian engages listeners with some of the movers and shakers of Junkanoo and Bahamian culture. Don't miss Junkanoo 242, Saturday at 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. on the ZNS Radio and Television Network.
Hey Bahamas, what's up? Are you proud of the decisions that our young people are making in our country today? Well, I want to introduce you to an organization where young people are making positive contributions, Youth Against Violence. I am a proud product of Youth Against Violence. Over the past years, Youth Against Violence has played a pivotal role in my success thus far. I want to throw a challenge out to you to help us and to support us to be able to help and support other young people like myself who are making positive contributions to our country. Help us to continue to bring peace to our streets by influencing this generation to influence future generations in a positive way. I am a proud product of Youth Against Violence. I am Travis Robinson, and I endorse this message.
Welcome back to Hurricane Dorian, The Aftermath. Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, also revealed at his press conference on Sunday that he will return to the nation's second city this Wednesday to get an update on the hurricane restoration process there.
A heads of agreement will be signed with the Carnival Corporation for the new cruise port. It is more vital now than ever to continue with our economic development program for Grand Bahama. We remain committed to the restoration and redevelopment of Grand Bahama.
Now, while Grand Bahama tries to regroup after the devastation of Hurricane Dorian, a Bahamian eye physician is teaming up with an international body to provide eye care to Dorian victims and others in need. Jamila Mizak of our Northern Service reports.
Christian Ophthalmology Society, an international organization made up of hundreds of physicians coming to the aid of residents post-Hurricane Dorian. The organization, which started 44 years ago, is based in the United States but reaches around the world. The society is partnering with the Ash Eye Institute to render much-needed eye care services. Stan Pletcher says the society is on a fact-finding mission to explore ways in which they can assist.
Certainly for someone who's lost their glasses, we can check
refraction and get people seeing well again. Same thing true for contact lenses. But then in terms of eye diseases, we've already seen corneal ulcers in relation to the hurricane and to the danger, any eye injuries certainly. But in glaucoma, we'll be testing for that. So we'll be testing pressures and checking the optic nerve, and we may find people who have undiagnosed glaucoma and need treatment. And for those that know they have glaucoma but they haven't gotten their drops, that's going to be important. Certainly lasers is a part of treatment for glaucoma in some cases. And then other cases can be more surgically oriented, like a cataract surgery.
Dr. Duranda Ash of the Ash Eye Institute and his gift of sight says the need for partnerships such as this is important, and she believes this is only the beginning.
It's so important. You know, today is eyes, and it is in eyes, but I see God doing it in all other areas, you know, because there are other areas in medicine that are Christian, you know, who want to be of service. So I see it starting with eyes, but I see it expanding to even other areas of medicine, because there are many physicians who love God, Bahamian physicians who love God and love his people. And there are many, you know, physicians all over the world who love God and love his people. So ophthalmology is the beginning, I believe, of so many other areas in medicine.
Jamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Anisha Rowles, says a majority of the youth programs offered by the ministry have been quite effective over the years. One of them is the Fresh Start Initiative. Rowles says one of the things her team is trying to do is put together a statistical data bank to properly document and record the performance level of each program.
So one of the things I'm actively trying to obtain is statistical information and data. We don't want to just record, but we want it properly recorded. And so I'm trying to get assistance, or the ministry is trying to get assistance in that area to properly record the statistics of what is happening in the ministry in terms of youth, because these people here are doing wonderful things. Cheesecake Heaven, correct? They are doing quite well. The startup that we gave to Bahamas Striping, these young people are doing well, and these are the kinds of reports that has come out of the Division of Youth, Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. And so now it's just garnering the necessary resources to properly log data, analyze data, and learn from the data so that we can improve on the work that we do.
While many of the locals were at home enjoying the early morning showers, some visitors were eager to put on their swimsuits and catch a wave. There were others who decided to hop in a cab and sightsee, while others just wanted an authentic Bahamian experience. In this report, Kelsey Johnson tells us what visitors who traveled to the Montague Beach area did on an overcast day.
The weather, the way it was, I was expecting another hurricane, so I was kind of scared. So I was like, no, I'm not going.
A Fairfield Shavonda Harrison decided to brave the strong winds and cold rain on Sunday for a closer look at Nassau, what she describes as a beautiful paradise. Harrison, a visitor from Florida, was one of 15 persons on Montague Beach catching the waves while feeling the sand in their toes. She says she heard about the devastation left behind from Hurricane Dorian and was a little scared when they docked here in New Providence early Sunday. The overcast sky along with the heavy downpour didn't help, but she found comfort knowing that her family and friends were nearby.
Getting off the ship was drenching, pouring rain. All of us got soaking wet. Wind was very high, so we was kind of scared, and we started to change our minds and go back, but we didn't. We came on, and still kind of windy. I was scared at first because of the storm, the hurricane a couple months ago, and then the weather, the way it was, I was expecting another hurricane, so I was kind of scared. So I was like, no, I'm not going.
Janice Howard was also on the beach taking it all in. She's a member of the birthday crew that came on a cruise on Sunday. She was not about to let the weather stop her. In fact, she was happy to let her hair down and blow in the wind.
We were seeing things had been shut down, so our whole purpose. But we just took a chance. Our driver was still here, waiting for us, so we just got rain gear and came on out anyways. And yes, I'm very pleased that we made a decision to come on and just enjoy the island.
This is Stacey Williams' second trip to New Providence. She donated to the relief efforts and will like to visit some of the other islands in the future. Kelsey Johnson, ZNS Network News.
Thanks a lot, Kelsey. Sea surges are taking a toll on traveling motorists and some businesses. Let's check in with Lloyd Allen, who is at Arawak Cay. Good morning again, Lloyd.
In the area of Arawak Cay, this is on the eastern end of Arawak Cay. As you can see from the camera, there's a buildup of sand that was cleared over the weekend that happened as a result of sea surge coming to the area here. As we traversed throughout western New Providence, there were a lot of pockets of areas like this. And so again, the caution to drivers is definitely drive slow, because trying to maneuver through that sand was a bit of a challenge. Even as you can see here beneath me on the street, we have about a quarter inch of sand. Clear signs that there was some efforts being made by our Ministry of Works to clear the area out here. But even for persons coming out to the sea, I saw a few persons out on the water. Some just, well, not sunbathing, it's too early for that, but some persons, just enjoying the environment, and that's for them. But for others trying to maneuver through this area, it's very difficult. I've not seen a lot of this in recent years, as I did even a lot of my moving around the island during Dorian affecting New Providence. I saw not a lot of this, so it seems like this recent system that's traveling through New Providence has affected us. As you can see, this vehicle passing, it definitely has to drive with a caution, as a lot of sand is here in the road. Of course, we were hoping to speak with a vendor or two. It's a little early for the vendors. They would not have made their way out here. As I said, we're on the eastern end of Arawak Cay. I imagine that a lot of them would have been affected by a lot of sand building up in their back porches because of this sea surge that is expected to continue. I think that Basil said that this system may affect us for the next few days, and so I would caution those persons who are in this area to put up some sandbags, probably to prevent the buildup from sand. But of course, reporting here from the Arawak Cay area, Lloyd Allen for ZNS Network News.
Thanks a lot, Lloyd Fisher. We still have a long way to go for restoration after the impact of Hurricane Dorian. What's happening in sports?
I saw him out there just now by the sea. It's my daughter Charlie. She likes to swim so much, so I put her in the car yesterday. Say, see, the waves are too high. You can't go on the beach today. But normally, she like to go to the sea. But it's going to start getting back to normal today because the private schools are going to start their softball league today. The weather side hopefully will cooperate. We have 3 senior boys games on the schedule. Also, we had a lot of folks came in from Grand Bahama and Abaco, and now they're starting to find their way on various sporting teams here, especially in the New Providence Volleyball Association that opened yesterday over at the Donald Davis Gym. Hopefully everything can get back to normal. Our World Track and Field team, after all that, they are headed to Qatar for the championships that will get underway on Friday. Big news is that Patriot Seymour, citing an injury, will not be a part of that team, but the youngster out of Grand Bahama, he will be on the team as well. So it's going to be getting back to normal this weekend. It's a big week. I asked Basil what the weather's going to look like this coming weekend because the Opti Sailing Junior Nationals Championships are here this weekend. We have some 160 sailors from some 20 countries from around the world, like New Zealand and all those. They wanted to postpone that because they thought the hurricane hit Nassau, but they still had it going on. So it's going to get back to normal.
Now I know John Quill Jones made history.
Oh, yes,
she also donated, I think it was $100,000 to hurricane relief over in Grand Bahama.
Yes, on the game, from the first game of the WNBA Finals, they donated all. Michael Thompson, Sweetwell Thompson, his son Clay had a big thing on the weekend. We're going to see some of that. He donated all the money from his golf tournament. So the donations are starting to pour in from especially the sporting community.
Okay, all of that and more ahead in sports.
Explore the world of agriculture with us. Join me, your host, Carla Palmer, for continued adventures in agriculture and the marine environment as we head into Season 2 of the program, Agriculture Now. That's Agriculture Now, moving to a new date and time, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. and Saturdays at 9 a.m., right here on the ZNS Television Network.
Now you can watch the ZNS network of channels absolutely free. That's right, ZNS is now broadcasting 3 separate channels free to air on Channel 13. One channel has the regular ZNS TV HD programming. One is the Parliamentary channel, and one is the 24/7 television community page. These channels may be accessed simply by attaching either a rabbit ears antenna or an indoor amplified antenna to the RF input connector on the back of your digital television or flat screen TV. Once the antenna is connected, select TV mode and choose Auto Scan, and your TV will automatically pick up Channel 13 at no charge. Once you're on Channel 13, just use the channel selector to go to each of the 3 ZNS free channels. Antennas are available on many sites online. Free TV, ZNS brings it back to you.
When a hurricane watch or warning has been issued, it is extremely important to be prepared and know just what to do. Stay informed about the storm's path by listening to the radio or television for hurricane progress reports. Check emergency food and household supplies. Be sure you have extra batteries for flashlights and radios. Bring in outdoor items like lawn furniture and garden tools. Anchor objects that cannot be brought inside. Secure buildings by closing and boarding up windows. Remove outside antennas and satellite dishes. Turn refrigerators and freezers to the coldest settings, opening only when absolutely necessary and closing quickly. Purchase ice and store it in an ice chest. Keep drinking water in clean jugs and bottles. Clean your bathtub with bleach and fill it with water for washing and flushing, not for drinking, making sure to keep the bathroom door closed so that small children cannot access the filled tub. Do not go out to videotape or take photos of the storm. Take pictures from inside where it is safe and dry. There is no harm in being overly cautious where a hurricane is concerned. It is truly better to be safe than sorry. This public service announcement has been brought to you by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas in conjunction with the National Emergency Management Agency.
ZNS is everywhere you are when you download the new ZNS app. Watch our live channel to keep up with what's going on in the nation. News updates, we've got you covered. Tune into our radio stations with just a swipe. On the road, on the go, we're here with you. Available for download on the App Store and the Google Play Store.
Good Monday morning once again. John Quill Jones and the Connecticut Sun looking for the sweep of the LA Sparks in Los Angeles. Jones only took 5 shots on the evening and finished with 4 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 blocks, one of which was number 7 on ESPN Top 10 Players as the Sun shone bright and advanced to their first WNBA Finals since 2005 with a 78-56 beating of the Sparks and sweeping the series 3 games to zip. They will play either Washington Mystics or Las Vegas Aces, with the Mystics up 2-1 after Sunday's loss. The finals tip-off on Sunday. Meantime, Klay Thompson Foundation Golf Tournament on this weekend in California. All proceeds this year from the tournament going towards Hurricane Dorian relief efforts. A son of the soil, Klay reflected on how much this means to him.
This past month in the Bahamas, it's been very rough. Heavy hearts. I mean, it's hard to even put into words what Bahamians had to go through for the past month. And it's so good to see my cousin Carrie out here, who actually grew up in Freeport, where it was torn apart by Dorian and people losing everything, and just it's just been rough. And all contributions will go such a long way, because there's people in dire need for just the basic needs in life, whether it's food, homes, infrastructure. Anything you cherish is gone to them. And what I've been hearing from my friends in the Bahamas, from many teammates, Mikey's teammates on the national team, from their peoples, it's just complete devastation. Very prideful about having roots in the Bahamas. It's such a beautiful place. I'm sure a lot of you have been there. You've seen that water. There's nothing like it. And it's just unbelievable how much I love that country and that place. And I just want to thank ATR, ANTA, and Kaiser Permanente. They really stepped up, and there's been so many sponsorships. And
New Providence Volleyball Association opened their 2019-20 campaign Sunday at the Donald Davis Gym, and 6 teams fighting for the top spot in the ladies division this season. Game 1 of the season proving that it's going to be a competitive one, as this one between the Vixens and Defenders went to 5 sets, with the Defenders coming out on top 25-23, 25-23, 22-25, 17-25, and 15-11.
We stuck together, that's number one. We did a really good job staying together, even times when we were down, we still stuck together and pushed through.
They did a lot of things right. For example, they served well initially, and I thought that was a good thing. They served tough, they didn't ease up on their service. I think that was a wonderful thing. The blocking wasn't all I expected to be, but it is the first game of the season. So for me, I thought they did a wonderful job. Now, being a young team as they are, to be able to withstand the pressures of a 5th set against a veteran team, I thought that in itself was great.
Being a team of victory for 15 years in a row, even though we lost the championship last year, we're still a hard-fighting team. Well, it's the first game of the season, not so bad. So, season expecting to be very, very competitive.
The season with the destruction to Abaco and Grand Bahama from Dorian, and with sports at a standstill on those islands, some of those players have found their way to the capital and playing on teams like DeAndre and Bristol.
Actually impacted me a lot because that's my hometown, and it's really, really hard. But I use volleyball as an escape, so that's the only way I can blow off some steam.
We have players from Grand Bahama and Abaco who throughout the years have participated with our league, and so I'm anticipating that some of those players will play with some of our teams. I know for sure there are at least 3 young ladies from Marsh Harbor and Abaco who are going to participate in the league. They have participated before, but they missed a lot of games, obviously because they worked in Abaco, and on weekends they came here to play. So I'm thinking now that they're going to be able to play more games. Likewise, we too have players that from Grand Bahama who play us on my team as well. And so I think it's a wonderful thing. Sports really take your mind off the troubles and trials of life. And so if only for 2 hours, 3 hours, you could do that for individuals who have gone through Dorian, I think it's a good thing.
It's a big week ahead for our young Opti sailors, as the North American Championships will get underway Friday in the waters of Montague Bay. Nassau Yacht Club is the host, and Commodore Adam Darwin and crew, they are ready.
Deliberations whether to not have this event, but in the end of the day, most of the board thought it would be a good time for healing, to have all of these people come and interact with our Bahamian sailors, and we decided to move forward with this event. The Yacht Club right now is very busy. If you go outside, running around trying to get the place up to standard for these 20 teams that will be represented here. The Yacht Club is very proud of what's going on here, and we're very proud of everyone at the front table here. Have done a tremendous job, and we look forward to a great event, and the club will be ready to host these teams from around the world.
Veteran throws coach Ronald Cartwright on his way to Doha and the IWF World Track and Field Championships, where he will receive the Veterans Pin by the IWF for his more than 45 years in the sports, particularly in the area of field events. And that area does not get that much attention.
At the time, it was like 5-6 coaches, was only one field coach. Keith Parker came over to me and said, listen here, count them, it's about 5 or 6. He says, only me one. So why don't you come with me? And I thought about it, and then I went over, worked with him, and it started to happen. I started to go to clinics, I started to go to big meets. I started to get more of the experience of the events. So then I got to like it. I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And then later on down, about 10 years ago, I decided to do high jump. That became very successful, so I continued that. So it's as you go, you pick up different things. You just didn't stay at one point in your life. It was good when I went into the high jump. I think I helped a lot of people.
Coach Ronald Cartwright, congratulations going out to him now. Patrice Seymour, as we told you earlier, she has pulled out of the World Track and Field Championships due to injury. Terrence Jones, he has been given an invite to the 20 meters. Also pulling out, who was expected to get an invite, was hurdler Jeffrey Gibson. Now the Congress starts today. Jamaica Archer, the president of the B3 is, he is there. And this week as well, Mike Sands will be officially named as president of the NACAC region and also take his seat on the IAAF Council. So lots of events happening around the World Championships over there in Doha. And don't forget to tune in this morning, 9 o'clock on 1540 AM on 104.5 FM and also on the ZS Television Network. It is the OT with yours truly, and we'll be talking with some of the young sailors participating in this weekend's Opti National. Stay tuned for that.
As an artist, I travel all over the world and I find inspiration all around me, from the people and especially the environment. I love the Bahamas with all its natural beauty, from Abaco in the north to Inagua in the south and all the wonderful and colorful islands in between. But we must all do our part to keep the Bahamas healthy and clean, now and for the future generations. That's why I want you to find a little time to do your part. I'm doing my part because I care. Do you?
Working for the Bahamas tonight is that we don't only focus on New Providence, we cover the entire Bahamas. We have a team here in the northern Bahamas that is ready to bring you the stories, the people, and the news that matter to you. From point A to Z, from covering hurricanes to elections and everything in between.
It's the OT with yours truly, Charles Fisher.
Buddy Hield and the Kings have their...
Buddy Hield seemed to be having the best season of his career. He had 32 points the other night. It was a bit disappointing, Shawnee Miller not winning the IAAF World Female Athlete of the Year. The high school rankings will soon be out. Tabernacle, the defending champion, CC Sweeting, they are always there. Who will it be this year? Each Monday on 1540 AM and 104.5 FM, it's the OT with yours truly, Charles Fisher.
When a hurricane strikes, there are many critical needs to survival. Water is one of them. Access to clean water to drink, bathe, and wash things is often hard to come by, particularly in remote areas. While it's tempting to use whatever water is available, there are a few things that you should do to make sure that your drinking water is safe to consume or use. Boiling your water is one of them. Boiling water kills most pathogens that can be harmful. If your water is cloudy, filter it through a clean cloth or portable filter. You should boil filtered water for 1 minute, cool, and then store in a clean container with a lid. If boiling your water is not an option, you can disinfect it with bleach. Use 1/8 teaspoon or 8 drops per gallon, then let it stand for 30 minutes. Remember, this water should be stored in a clean container with a lid. Ensuring the highest level of food, animal, and plant safety in the Bahamas. This message is brought to you by the Bahamas Agricultural Health and Food Safety Authority and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
The Saffir-Simpson Hurricane Wind Scale was developed in 1971 by civil engineer Herbert Saffir and meteorologist Robert Simpson, who was the director of the U.S. National Hurricane Center. It was introduced to the public in 1973 and began to be widely used a year later, inspired by the Richter scale that measures earthquakes. The Saffir-Simpson scale was divided into 5 categories. Originally, the scale included predicted barometric pressures associated with the various wind speeds, as well as the relative kinds of damage that could be anticipated. However, because those predictions were found to be very inaccurate just a few years ago, the warning system was changed to include only the wind speeds, which were also adjusted upwards in the higher categories. A Category 1 hurricane has wind speeds between 74 and 95 miles per hour. A Category 2 hurricane has wind speeds between 96 and 110 miles per hour. A Cat 3, 111 to 129 miles per hour. A Cat 4, 130 to 156 miles per hour. And a Category 5 hurricane will have wind speeds from 157 miles per hour and up. This public service announcement has been brought to you by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas in conjunction with the National Emergency Management Agency.
In our final look at whether we get you started with the tropics in our satellite discussion, and we still have Jerry, which is out there. You can see on our satellite picture that broad area of showers and thunderstorms, not well organized, is now down to a tropical storm. That trailing trough, which affected the southeast Bahamas for several days, have now pushed off towards the south and east, but we have a secondary troughing across the central Bahamas, which will support some showers and thunderstorms again today. And then there is another system near the eastern Caribbean, and that too is moving towards the north. You can see not well organized on our satellite picture, and yet there's a 13 tropical depression just off the African coast this morning. That's also advancing towards the west. Now let's take a look at the tracking of the system over the next several days. First of all, Jerry. Packing winds now of about 65 miles per hour, moving toward the north-northwest at about 9 miles per hour. The maximum sustained wind, as we said, is 65 miles per hour. But as it treks towards the north, it will eventually take a turn towards the north and east. And by the middle of the week, sometime early Wednesday morning, this system could be passing well to the north and west of Bermuda once again, bringing some heavy showers and thunderstorms to that island nation as the system eventually starts to weaken sometime on Friday, becoming just a tropical low over the Atlantic Ocean. And then we now take you to Karen. Karen is now moving towards the northwest at about 8 miles per hour. The maximum sustained winds right now at about 40 miles per hour. We expect some intensification of this system, not much. It will remain a tropical storm as it continues to trek northwestward. And once again, clipping just the eastern tip of Puerto Rico, as did a number of these storms. That will eventually move into the open waters of the Atlantic sometime on early Wednesday morning, keeping that northerly track. But we'll start to look at this very seriously come Friday, because there things start to get a little dicey. Looks as though we want to make a little turn towards the northwest and possibly west as of Friday and Saturday of this weekend. So we'll keep our eyes on Karen very, very closely. And then number 13, as we said, is just off the African coast, moving west. Some intensification is expected. That one does not look as though it's going to be any threat to landmass, so we need not worry about TD number 13. Partly cloudy conditions can be expected today. Still a bit breezy, but the winds will be dying down starting tomorrow. Some morning showers possible, clearing up a bit in the afternoon. High temperature getting up to 88 degrees. And tonight, we are looking at partly cloudy conditions, 77 degrees for your low temperature. The extended weather forecast over the next 7 days. Nice weather shaping up on Tuesday, and that will hold right into our Friday. On Saturday, we get some showers back into our forecast, and as we head into the weekend, more showers in sight. But temperature-wise, we'll look as though we're leaving those 90s for a while. Temperatures remaining in the mid to upper 80s right through the 7-day cycle, and your nighttime temperatures also staying there in the mid 70s, and with the breeze in there as well, keeping the nights nice and comfortable. Ladon?
Thanks a lot, Basil. That's it for us today. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for more on the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian. For the entire Morning Edition team, I'm Ladon Davis. Make the best of your day.